Imagine a global industry, a sprawling network of experiences and destinations, vibrant and seemingly unstoppable, a force that connects cultures and fuels economies. Think of bustling marketplaces, iconic landmarks teeming with visitors, and the constant flow of people eager to explore the world. Now, picture that same industry suddenly grinding to a halt. The vibrant energy dissipates, the crowds vanish, and the once thriving hubs become eerily silent. This is the stark reality facing global tourism today, a landscape transformed by unforeseen circumstances, leaving behind a trail of empty destinations and shuttered businesses. The numbers paint a grim picture, a projected loss of $200 billion by 2025. This staggering figure represents not just a financial setback, but a profound disruption to the global economy. That number isn't just a statistic, it's a reflection of the human cost of this crisis. It represents lost jobs, livelihoods shattered, and families struggling to make ends meet. It signifies shuttered businesses, dreams put on hold, and the heartbreaking closure of establishments that were once the heart of their communities. And it speaks to communities on the brink, their economies crippled, their social fabric frayed, and their future uncertain. The silence of empty hotels, once bustling with guests from around the world, and deserted beaches, where the sound of laughter and crashing waves has been replaced by an unsettling quiet, speaks volumes about the devastation that has swept across the global tourism landscape. Millions of people, the backbone of this industry, housekeepers who ensure our comfort and well-being, tour guides who share their knowledge and passion for their homelands, artisans, the creators of unique and cherished souvenirs, depend on tourism for survival, their livelihoods intricately woven into the fabric of this global network. For them, this isn't an abstract trend or a distant economic downturn, it's a daily struggle to put food on the table, to keep a roof over their heads, and to maintain hope in the face of adversity. The real story is told in the quiet desperation that hangs in the air, of communities that once thrived on global connection, now grappling with the harsh realities of isolation and economic hardship. Understanding this profound loss, the human cost behind the statistics, is the first step toward grasping the urgency of the situation and recognizing the need for immediate and decisive action. The challenge ahead is not just about recouping financial losses and restoring balance sheets, it's about rebuilding an industry that is more resilient, more sustainable, and more equitable. It's about creating a future for tourism that sustains communities, protects cultural heritage, and restores the vital human connections that make travel so enriching. The world must act with a sense of urgency and a spirit of collaboration. Before this silence becomes permanent, before the vibrant tapestry of global tourism fades away, leaving behind a void that can never be truly filled. The dramatic collapse of global tourism wasn't triggered by a single isolated event. It wasn't just one thing that went wrong. Instead, it was the convergence of multiple negative factors, a rare and devastating alignment, a perfect storm. A confluence of events, each adding its own destructive force to the mix. COVID-19 was undoubtedly the initial catalyst, the spark that ignited the tinder. It acted as the primary accelerant, rapidly spreading across the globe. As the pandemic spread, borders closed abruptly, flights were immediately grounded, and all non-essential travel was suspended indefinitely. The world effectively shut down. Widespread health fears, fueled by uncertainty and a lack of information, and the implementation of strict lockdowns across nations, decimated countless businesses, particularly those reliant on tourism revenue. Restaurants, hotels, and entertainment venues faced unprecedented closures, and tragically, erased millions of jobs almost overnight, leaving families struggling and economies reeling. But the pandemic, devastating as it was just the initial blow, the beginning of a much larger and more complex crisis. The aftershocks included widespread economic instability, soaring inflation impacting the cost of everything from food to fuel, and rapidly rising interest rates, all of which combined to make travel increasingly unaffordable for a significant portion of the population. Adding to the economic woes, geopolitical tensions and ongoing conflicts in various regions created a pervasive sense of uncertainty and risk, deterring even the most adventurous and seasoned tourists from venturing abroad. The disruption of established air routes, coupled with the rising costs of travel insurance, further added to the overall anxiety and hesitation surrounding travel. Meanwhile, growing climate concerns and increased environmental awareness are fundamentally changing traveler behavior and preferences, with a significant number of people now consciously choosing to stay closer to home, opting for local tourism and staycations. The result, a complex, multi-layered crisis, far more intricate than any single factor could explain. This situation demands a coordinated global response, bringing together governments, industries, and individuals to find sustainable solutions. Navigating a path forward towards recovery and resilience ultimately means addressing each of these powerful and interconnected forces head-on, with innovative strategies and unwavering determination. To grasp the gravity of the crisis, we must recognize tourism's immense scale. Before the collapse, tourism powered over 10% of global GDP and 1 in 10 jobs worldwide. It's not just luxury resorts, millions of small businesses and workers depend on it. For many developing nations, tourism is the top export and main source of foreign income. Tourist spending ripples through communities, supporting farmers, artisans, and entrepreneurs. The industry also drives investment in infrastructure, benefiting locals and visitors alike. Its decline halts progress, especially for women and young people who rely on tourism for opportunity. The loss isn't just economic, it's a setback for social progress and equality. Behind the staggering $200 billion loss that the tourism industry has faced, lies a reality far more profound than mere numbers. It's a story of shattered livelihoods and broken dreams. Our millions of personal stories, each one a testament to the devastating impact of this global crisis. These aren't just statistics, they are real people, with families, hopes, and aspirations. Take Maria, a hotel housekeeper in Spain, a dedicated worker who took pride in her job, ensuring every guest felt comfortable and cared for. She lost her job and her sense of security when her hotel closed, leaving her uncertain about the future and how she would provide for her family. The closure wasn't just a business decision, it was a life-altering event for Maria. In Thailand, a family-run restaurant that served tourists for generations, a place where recipes were passed down through the years and where every dish told a story, was forced to shut down, its vibrant atmosphere replaced by an eerie silence. The laughter of tourists, the clinking of glasses, and the aroma of delicious food were all gone. These stories are echoed worldwide, from the bustling streets of European capitals to the serene beaches of Southeast Asia. Small businesses shuttered, dreams broken, and communities left reeling from the economic fallout. The vibrant tapestry of global tourism has been torn, leaving behind threads of despair. Entire communities, especially in the Caribbean and Pacific Islands, where tourism is the lifeblood of the economy, have been devastated, their economies crippled, and their way of life threatened. The once thriving resorts and beaches are now eerily empty, a stark reminder of the crisis. Tour guides, who once shared their passion for their homelands with eager travelers, artisans, who poured their hearts into creating unique and beautiful souvenirs, and boat operators, who navigated the waters with skill and pride, suddenly found themselves without work. Their skills and expertise rendered useless in a world without tourists. The loss of tourism leads to poverty, as families struggle to make ends meet, and communities face widespread economic hardship. Migration, as people are forced to leave their homes in search of better opportunities elsewhere, and the erosion of cultural traditions, as communities struggle to preserve their heritage in the face of economic hardship. For many, skills honed over a lifetime passed down through generations, representing a deep connection to their culture and heritage, are now obsolete, gathering dust in empty workshops and abandoned storefronts, leaving a sense of hopelessness, a feeling that the future is uncertain, and that their way of life may be lost forever. The emotional toll is immense, with many struggling with anxiety, depression, and a deep sense of loss. There are no easy alternatives, no quick fixes, and the path to recovery is long and uncertain. The human cost, the stories of individuals and communities struggling to survive, is the most tragic dimension of this global crisis, a reminder that behind every statistic, there is a human being with a story to tell. The numbers reveal the scale of the disaster. International tourist arrivals plunged 73% in 2020, with recovery still lagging. The $200 billion projected loss is a conservative estimate, reflecting a persistent gap in travel volumes. At the peak, over 60 million tourism jobs were lost or at risk. Airlines suffered historic losses, triggering bankruptcies and layoffs across the supply chain. Hotels saw record low occupancy, forcing many to close permanently. The skills gap widens as workers leave the industry for good. Experts warn that recovery will be slow and uncertain, with inflation and instability still major obstacles. The data is a call to action. Rebuilding tourism will require strategic investment and global cooperation. Tourism's collapse triggered a devastating domino effect. Airlines grounded fleets, laid off staff, and canceled orders, hitting manufacturers and suppliers. Airports became ghost towns, struggling to cover costs. Hotels, big and small, saw occupancy plummet, impacting everyone from farmers to florists. A single closed hotel can sever economic lifelines for dozens of local businesses. Museums, theaters, and cultural sites lost vital ticket sales, forcing closures and layoffs. Retailers and tourist hotspots saw sales evaporate, hollowing out city centers. Even food producers and transport workers, taxi drivers, guides, lost their livelihoods. The crisis exposed just how interconnected our economies are. When tourism falls, entire communities and industries tumble with it. The impact of the tourism crisis is not equal everywhere. Small island developing states, where tourism is often half the economy, face a triple threat: health, economic, and debt crises. Women, young people, and migrant workers, who form the backbone of tourism, have been hit hardest. The informal sector, from street vendors to artisans, lost all income overnight. With no contracts or safety nets, millions were pushed deeper into poverty. Conservation and cultural heritage efforts have also suffered as tourism funds dry up. In East Africa, lost safari revenue threatens wildlife protection. Indigenous communities lose vital support for preserving traditions. The crisis threatens not just economies, but the world's cultural and natural diversity. 3. Reviving tourism requires bold, coordinated action. Governments must provide targeted financial support, loans, grants, and tax relief to keep businesses afloat. Investing in workforce retraining and digital skills will make the industry more resilient. International cooperation is key. Harmonized travel protocols and digital health passes can restore traveler confidence. Clear, predictable guidelines are essential for recovery. Travelers too play a role by supporting local businesses and choosing sustainable options. Stay in family-run guest houses, eat at local restaurants, and buy from artisans. Sustainable travel, eco-friendly stays, less crowded destinations can help rebuild better. Community-based tourism empowers locals and preserves culture. Together, we can shape a more resilient, responsible tourism industry. Saving tourism is about more than economics, it's about our shared humanity. Travel fosters understanding and empathy, and breaks down barriers. In a divided world, tourism is a bridge we can't afford to lose. The industry is a lifeline for millions, especially in developing nations. Rebuilding it is a moral imperative, supporting jobs, public services, and conservation. The crisis is a chance to reimagine tourism: less over-tourism, more sustainability, and local benefit. Prioritize quality over quantity, protect heritage, and empower communities. A vibrant tourism sector reflects a healthy, outward-looking society. By supporting recovery, we invest in global connection and a brighter future. The future of tourism is our shared global future.